Good evening. Tonight I want to talk to you about the Asia dog meat trade. Much of the world views dogs as trusted companions or protectors, but in some parts of Asia they suffer as victims of the trade in dog meat for human consumption. The conditions under which the dogs are transported and slaughtered are not only inhumane, but many die from suffocation long before they reach neighboring countries. In reality, these are the lucky ones. There's an estimation that around 30 million dogs are killed for human consumption each year across from Asia, in a brutal trade that involves terrible cruelty to animals and often criminal activity. From 10 to 20 million dogs are slaughtered in China, 2 million in South Korea, and around 5 million in Vietnam. 80,000 or so will end up in the last group are imported from Thailand, Laos, and Cambodia. Accurate figures are impossible to obtain as the dog meat trade is entirely unregulated and often illegal. The dog meat trade is most widespread in China, as well as the other countries I mentioned: South Korea, the Philippines, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, Nagaland, and also in northern India. This trade is well organized, with high numbers of dogs being stolen or taken from the streets, transported over long distances, and brutally slaughtered. Some of them are pets. The majority of the dogs that are killed are actually pets, and they come from homes and gardens, roaming communities as strays snatched from the streets. Dog and cat thieves use a variety of methods, including poison, and sell the animals to traders and restaurant owners. It is quite common to find dogs on trucks headed to slaughterhouses, still wearing their collars. So yes, the next question would be, do the dogs suffer? They do. Severe animal suffering is endemic to the dog meat trade. The animals are crammed by the hundreds onto the backs of the trucks, packed so tightly in cages that they are unable to move. In Vietnam, it's not uncommon for dogs to be violently force-fed with a tube down the throat in order to boost their weight before sending them to slaughter. Dogs are typically driven for days or weeks, often sick and injured, and many die from suffocation, dehydration, or heat stroke long before they reach their destination. All of these dogs will eventually end up at a slaughterhouse, market, or restaurant. And the method in which they are killed, it varies from each country. In South Korea, the most common method for slaughtering a dog is by electrocution, but hanging and beating are also used. In China and Vietnam, dogs are usually beaten to death with a metal pipe and then bled out from a cut to the throat or the groin. But they can also be hanged, or less commonly thrown conscious into large drums of boiling water. In some cases, the treatment of the animal prior to slaughter is deliberately cruel because of the misguided belief that torturing a dog prior to death results in better tasting adrenaline-rich meat. And due to that belief, the high adrenaline levels will produce tender meat and increase the supposed health benefits. Dogs are sadistically made to experience extreme fear and suffering prior to death. Consumption also increases in summer, as there is a belief that eating dog will keep one cool. This is particularly evident during Bok days, the 3 hottest days of the summer according to the lunar calendar. Right now, in South Korea, the only animal protection amendment that I know of is an act of 2007, expressly prohibits some of the cruel methods used by people in the dog meat trade to handle and slaughter dogs. The law, however, is widely ignored despite being revised with stronger penalties. Some of the health risks. Consuming dog meat puts individuals at risk of infection from such deadly parasites as E. coli and Salmonella, commonly found in contaminated meats, as well as at risk of contracting other serious and potentially deadly bacterial diseases such as anthrax, hepatitis, leptospirosis. Dog meat is additionally linked to the spread of rabies, a disease that kills approximately 10,000 dogs and 350 people per year in the Philippines. What we need to do, we need to step up. In order to successfully ban the trade in dogs for human consumption, mechanisms to enforce the national law should be established at the provincial, municipal, and village level in key areas where the dog meat industry continues to thrive. It is crucial to work with local communities as well to raise awareness of the risk of the dog meat industry and the risk that it poses to both human health and animal welfare, and for local law enforcers to be equipped with skills, knowledge, and motivation to enforce existing laws. This isn't okay. This is sad. This is something that is going on this very moment, and we can do something about it. If we can't donate money, Google dog meat trade, sign petitions, send letters to the countries. Most of the time they have the addresses where you can send the letters and express why it is wrong and it's not okay. You know, not only for the human health but for the animal welfare. It's just it's just not okay. And with this many dogs, many of them being taken, especially as pets, you can only imagine what they go through leaving a home where they're well taken care of, and even some of them having their collars still on them and going to be boiled alive for human consumption is just inhumane. So thank you for listening to my speech, and I hope that this gives you some insight of what's going on, and hopefully you can possibly do something to stop it as well. Thank you.